When you're fighting breast cancer, you experience a whirlwind of emotions and changes. With all the worries and stress, you may find that you have moments of fogginess and forgetfulness. Who wouldn't?
Where did I put my keys, or what do I have to do today, or when is my next doctor's appointment? And a lot of people that don't know, what I've been through, what comes along with it, they look at me like, how did you forget that?
I could not recollect people's names. And in my job, I'm a marketing director, and that's very important.
I had one moment at work, and a physician asked me about a new product that we had, and I could not come up with the name. Could not, and it was something I talk about every day, probably a dozen times a day. I felt so stupid.
If this happens to you, you're not stupid. It's commonly called Chemobrain, and up to 75% of survivors report it during treatment, and up to 35% after treatment. Symptoms can vary from person to person, but you may forget details that you'd usually remember, like names, important dates, or a route you've driven for years. It may be challenging to finish a book, concentrate at work, remember to pay the bills, or help your kids with homework. These symptoms can be short-term and clear up after treatment is over, or they can settle in for the long haul.
A lot of women suffer from it, within a few months or a couple of years of their treatments. I'm 9 years out, and my short-term memory is very sparse, to say the least.
It's often called Chemobrain because the symptoms are considered to be side effects of treatment, but a number of other sources may be involved as well. Taking medications, stress and fatigue, and emotional exhaustion or depression can all take a toll on your mental sharpness. So rather than Chemobrain, we've started calling these symptoms cognitive changes. Dealing with these changes can be frustrating, but it doesn't have to stop you from living your life. There's lots of ways to manage your cognitive changes and increase your mental sharpness during and after treatment.
I have a little board on the refrigerator that I write anything that I feel like I'm not going to remember. I just jot down on the board.
I'm constantly having to make to-do lists and make sure that I've got things on my Post-it notes.
I write everything down in a calendar so I don't miss anything. Sleep has also been a challenge for me, not just because of night sweats, but just getting my brain to sort of, slow down so that I can get to sleep. And so I used a lot of guided meditation apps on my phone. I've managed to work around it, but it is a major challenge.
Regular exercise, good nutrition, a solid sleep schedule, and stress management will help your brain be at its very best. If you haven't already, talk to your healthcare provider about cognitive changes after breast cancer. Don't be afraid to tell them about what you're experiencing. Ask about cognitive screening to measure how well you're thinking, and keep the conversation going so that you both can monitor your progress and adjust the action plan along the way. For more cognitive resources, check out thinkwell.tips.